There's a place where the Wicked Witch of the West
I'll get you, my pretty.
meets the King in the North. Where
Bazinga.
meets
Joint.
and a fresh prince meets a dark knight.
I'm Batman.
It's a place where friends laugh about life,
How you doing?
while others keep coming back to life.
They killed Kenny.
It's where all of HBO meets the greatest collection of movies, shows, and new Max originals for everyone in the family. HBO Max, where HBO meets so much more. Not all titles available at launch.
Hi guys, listen to the Iron Nibbles Seg podcast.
Let's roll this out. It's the Eye-Ownable Show, the podcast that promises to captivate you and rejuvenate you. I'm your host, one and only, Melage. Today's topic is 5G internet. I have on the panel the magnificent, the powerful, the one that controls electricity, Mr. Samuel Boateng. On the side is the superhero with the rich tool that can fix anything, the marvelous Mr. Daniel Mensah. We have the El Chapo of movies, the director himself, Joel Tetevia. Also, the wielder of the Kitana blade, the master of the puppeteers, the only supreme, Mr. Roxon. Of course, we cannot forget the Einstein that created the Kraken, the brilliant Mr. Franz Squash. From when we were in dial-ups, to the time I'm sitting in the cafes, to when the internet was slow, and to now that the internet is getting fast. Since the human beings met speed, they just want to go fast. So we are now on 5G internet. So when we say 5G internet, what is it? Mr. Samuel Boateng, can you educate us a bit?
Yeah. So, hello guys. I'm glad to be here. I think I'll go straight to the point. So 5G is a communications technology that is it's a wireless communications technology. So we have 3G, 4G, and then we have 5G, and basically 5G is supposed to be a more advanced, a more improved form of wireless communication technology, mainly for mobile phones. And so it's going to bring us faster speeds and mainly faster speeds and more advanced capabilities to do more. Yeah.
Does any of my super panelists have anything to add to what Mr. Samuel Boateng?
Yeah, I believe Sami basically explained the concept of 5G. And it's very easy. It's very good if we consider the fact that throughout history, periodically there have been releases that have changed the course of our lives and our lifestyles. And 5G is no different. There was a time where, if you talk about computers, you're looking at very large industries or very big companies or very high-ranking government organizations. But now we have a computer in every home. When smartphones first came out, it wasn't very popular. There were very few with it, and it was very huge. But as time went on, it developed, and now we have what we are using today. So 5G is believed to be a technology which is going to revolutionize not just our lives, but businesses, relationships, connections. Everything is going to change. 5G is the bomb, is the new age here.
Thank you. Dear listeners, buckle up. Get ready to step on the accelerator because by the end of this show, you know more about 5G, the conspiracies, and you know what you should prepare for. So, there is a confusion. Some call it a conspiracy that 5G can alter human DNA because of its radio frequencies. How true is that? Mr. Samuel Boateng, can you throw more light on that point?
Yeah. So basically, since the advent of like every other device in history, we have the benefits and then we have the challenges or the disadvantages with that, with whatever device we are talking about. So, likewise with wireless radio, wireless communication technology, we have some shortfalls. However, some of the recent um, some of the recent news we've been hearing concerning 5G is a bit overstated. Currently, there's no there's no solid evidence or there's no solid established conclusion that 5G causes any health problem. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Daniel Mensah, before we hit Mr. Roxon and Joel.
What would you hit them with?
Well, I have a hammer. Tostol gave me his. I don't know if any of them is Captain America to be able to lift it in the final show, but listen.
I'm sure Sammy could try.
Okay.
Right. So, Sammy's my senior, so I believe he has said it all. I mean, I cannot go against what Sammy's saying, like 100%. He taught me some of the things I know about programming, and he has been very influential in my life. So just to add to what he's saying, conspiracies are everywhere. Somebody can strip naked and be walking around with a banner saying that he's Jesus Christ, and some would believe, some would, no, this is not real. Some would, again, this is real. It's just about having different perspectives, and that is what the world is about. We are all different individuals coming from different backgrounds. We're taught different things as we're growing. So most definitely, everybody would have a perception about something. 5G being introduced is nothing different. Everybody's going to have something different to think about it. But the thing is what you're thinking the truth. To everything, there is a merit and there is a demerit. 5G, they say, is producing a lot of radiation that would cause a lot of problems in the future. Some even say is the cause of the COVID-19. Like Sami says, there's no backing, there's no explanation backing this, there's no proof backing that conspiracy. Radiations have been with us for a long time. From 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, there have always been radiations. And even these radiations have a longer wavelength. I think tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, is it a longer wavelength?
A shorter rap.
Yeah, they have
shorter wavelength.
Yeah. Which waves are you talking about?
I'm talking about 5G. Does it have a longer wavelength or shorter wavelength?
Yeah, the higher frequency 5G has a shorter wavelength.
Okay, a shorter wavelength, yes.
Yeah.
So if it has a shorter wavelength, it means that it will not travel very far, and it's believed that is not going to cause a lot of damage. But look at X-ray machines. They also produce a lot of radiation, but we still take them. This is a technology that has been proven to help. It is here to bring change. It's not something that is extra new. We're adding more towers because it's going to travel very short distances. That is all. It's not like we're going to increase the strength of the frequencies by a very large factor. But the waves will not travel very long, and that's why more masts are being added. So the addition of more masts, are what people are also thinking that is going to produce more damage or produce more frequencies, which will not be very good for them. But that's the reason for the mast production. Like, we need the mast because the waves don't travel far, but it's not for causing more damage. Over to you, Malash.
Thank you. It seems Mr. Samuel wanted to add something small.
No, I was saying like that's 100% correct.
Thank you. So, Wafa Roxon, Apple Roxon himself.
What's up?
Share some light on the health issues or the health concerns that people think they should have a look at when it comes to 5G.
With 5G, Daniel and Samuel, they basically said everything with the conspiracies. Because when it comes to health issues, there are no conk evidence to show that it causes this or that. There's like the coronavirus like this, and I quite remember what do you call it? With the previous generations, people were saying it's caused cancer and all of those stuff, but then it's it's just words in the air. Like I've not, to me personally, that I've not had any evidence of such thing happening. So yeah, it's just a conspiracy.
Joel, what do you have to say?
Well, from all that has been heard, you can see we all don't seem to get why or where that conspiracy is stemming from, because everybody is looking for better speed, better connection, and if 5G has come to offer us that, I don't know. Like Sami, everybody will also point to Sami's point that there is no scientific proof that the 5G network is causing A, B, C to the human body. So I have absolutely no idea where this conspiracy is coming from.
Great, thank you. Thank you to you all for your comments. So now let me ask, do you want to be a Chinese man and eat sushi or an American man and eat steak? Who should have control over 5G internet? The Americans or the Chinese? What's your take? We start with Mr. Roxy.
Wait, you're starting from me.
Yeah, I hear you
Oh, okay.
you have the sharing thing. So
So who should have control over 5G between the Chinese and the Americans? They are both serious data harvesters, and I don't think it will be safe being in any of their possessions. But one is safer than one. I would prefer it to be in the hands of the Americans, since it's more democratic. Even though they do some stuffs underground, but then we still know that we can talk and they'll listen. But when it comes to China, an autocratic rule where when you say something you can just be shut off, like people these cases where uh, journalists and other people talk about some things that are going on in the country, and then you hear a knock on your door and there's a police there coming to warn you about a text you sent on a messaging platform. Come on, it doesn't really make sense. So I would prefer America to be in control of 5G than China.
so Mr. Samuel, what's your take on that?
Oh, okay. Are we allowed to have no take on neutral take?
Well, you have to come from the
He's protecting his future, bro.
Hey, I mean, if I get a Chinese contract right now,
You
you
will
kill your body.
I'm going to cast this thing for
be
him. Cut!
yeah.
Hey,
I think
did you guys know that Zoom is on a Chinese server? It's being hosted on a Chinese server.
interesting.
You tell me more.
Yeah, so
So Samuel, tell me, you don't want to have a pick for future
Yeah, I
reasons.
think the problem of like data harvesting, that's ignoring privacy concerns, are a key issue going forward. And neither USA nor China are totally clean in the matter, because there have been instances where they've seen that the USA government has been found spying on people and all that, the Snowden case and all that. And then China, we have China. So I think that we need to have like more global approach to it. One candidate in the recently the recent Democratic primaries in USA was um, speaking about a global data organization just to standardize the whole data use because it's like it's a new area that we are going into, and legacy systems and regulations are really not like prepared to handle the implications of data use, data sharing, and all that. So, um, like you can look him up. He's called Andrew Yang. He has been talking about like very very fresh ideas with data and the way forward with data and uh, artificial intelligence, like um, how we can start universal basic income by collecting a tool for every unit of data that the tech companies take from us. So like, okay, now tech companies are making money off our data. So if you are making money off my data, then you should be able to pay me at least something for my data because I mean we are all paying we pay when we let's say if you buy a server or when you use Zoom, once you use the premium features, you have to pay something small every month, something like that. So he turned it and then was bringing out some ideas. So I think that is an interesting conversation. But I'll still be on the neutral side. That's if I had to choose between USA and China because it's a big choice.
Interesting. Is anybody wanting to have, or somebody wants to add something to it?
No. I feel having a global approach is very ideal. Unless you want to add Ghana to the list, then I'm sure maybe Joel would root for Ghana to handle the 5G network.
I'm sure he's very patriotic. So, rollout of 5G internet, it's a data race. Is it that Africa is lost in that race, or Africa has the potential to develop maybe the next 6G internet? What is stopping Africa from becoming or joining the data race? We'll start that with Joel. Let's see what he has to say about
You have to come back to me. Let me think around it.
it. Great. So, Daniel, what would you say about this same question? Can Africa enter the data race, and can we probably create the next 6G?
Okay. Well, I think when it comes to Africa and tech, there are still a couple of things that we are lacking. Infrastructure-wise. However, I look at the youth of today and I realize that there's a lot of potential. You see people like Sami advocating for e-learning and coming up with deep research as to why it is very, very viable in Africa. And I'm quite amazed because, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't think that we were actually very exposed to this capacity. Many people look at Africa and then they're like, oh, okay, well, these guys are lagging behind because they don't really have the necessary resources to get to this particular level. But then from the research that I followed up with Sami, I realized that we are actually well equipped to move. But one of the things that we struggle with is probably education. Yes, there's a lot of information out there, which is very important, which we can assimilate and then build our skills to get to that particular place. But I don't know. I feel right. Let me just tell you the story. There was this guy who wanted his child to be a pilot, and since the baby was born, he was introducing the child to everything related to aeronautics or planes or pilots. So during vacations, he takes the child to the airport. He teaches the child about planes in the house and everything. The child graduated school and then wanted to be a pilot. Became a pilot, first class pilot, and it was great. What happened? It was something like a placebo effect. He quote unquote brainwashed the child in that direction. Over here in Africa, I believe that we are not moved in the direction of technology so much because everything is based on um, theories and principles of code. And in as much as that is important, our minds are not sent in the particular direction of developing tech. So even if people build that capacity, it's probably late not okay, I wouldn't say late, but it's not very early in their life. Say, I didn't start programming early. I started programming in the university, and I feel that there's a lot because there's some 7-year-old in a different country in Europe or in Asia somewhere who is building wild games. And I mean, the correlation, there is somebody with started at 7, so you can imagine the years of experience till see the age I started. It gets to a point where it becomes tough. So I feel that what is lacking in Africa here is that particular education in the right direction of technology. Where once that is sorted, I think that we have all the infrastructure needed to move to the next phase.
Thank you. Yeah, Roxanne, do you have anything to say about this? Or better still, we take it from Mr. Samuel.
Yeah, so I think it's on data in Africa, right? Or the 5G race in Africa. So yeah, if we are to be like completely realistic, it will take a while for us to, let's say, enter the worldwide race in some of these things, 5G and stuff. But I think that all we need to do is we need to start heading in that direction. But I think that with for 5G and co, it's about hardware, network infrastructure, like in that direction. And from what I see for Africa, much of our efforts right now, as in, if I look at where or what some of the African tech startups are doing and stuff, most of us are like pursuing or doing a lot in software and more recently fintech. So you can expect a really high value and innovative fintech startup from Africa in, let's say, the next 5 years. It wouldn't be too surprising. But for something like 5G race, we need more companies, more IP. Like we need more people in that space, and we just don't have people in that space currently. I might be wrong, but that's how I see it. I think um, if telecom companies like MTN that are big in Africa could find a way to diversify, maybe they could take that up. But even for them, they are not really in that business because let's say if you have MTN is a telecoms operator, but MTN is buying towers from one company. MTN is buying base station equipment from either Siemens or Huawei or something. So like the whole MTN and Casa, they are they are also buying from people. So you understand. So Africa and 6G, 5G, it will take a while. It will take a while. We have to, like Daniel said, we have to put in efforts in that direction. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I think I agree with you because my 4G LTE feels like 3. But anyway, maybe we need to do more improvement. Maybe that will solve the situation. My last question for the panel before we end our today's show is how can 5G help us fight COVID-19? Well, it is thought that 5G is faster. So what can it do? We'll start that with Roxanne, then we go to Daniel, then we'll come back to Mr. Samuel.
Yeah, sorry,
The question again.
I'm saying, how can 4G help us combat, 5G help us combat COVID-19 or help us in fighting COVID-19 at this stage where everybody is stuck in the house? They need to find ways to make money, ways to teach their kids, all of that. How can 5G play a role in that?
Okay, so how 5G can help in fighting COVID-19?
Yeah.
Basically, 5G promises greater speed, right? Which is like reducing the amount of lags between computers when they are communicating and stuff. Um, I think it would help a lot with people trying to build large models on how to track the virus. Um, people trying to simulate. There is this um, thing, like, let's say, when it comes to 3D, we have this thing where it's a render farm where you have um, multiple computers working together to produce your work that you fed into it, and you don't necessarily use your PC. You feed it onto the server. Now, with COVID-19, you can. I think it's already in development, and people are already doing it. Where when you are not using your PC, you log in into the web, that particular site, and then they use your computer's processing power whilst you are not using it. So you are donating your computer for your computer's processing power for the cause of finding a cure for COVID-19. Um, yeah, so that's my thought on it at the moment.
Yeah. So, for Daniel,
Info Melash. Yoshenko.
the only one and only.
Abinedam, right? Or how do you say it?
Dow.
Hey, okay.
Your number one host for today.
Right. The ultimate host. Huh?
You understand?
So, 5G and COVID-19, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, simply put, I believe that the speed is very key. So information, the spread of information will be very quick. Low latency or lag, also very, very fast information spread. I also believe that one of um, the key features of 5G is that it's able to connect a lot more devices. We are looking at more mobile devices, sensors, other IoT stuff, which means that you are taking information from different places. If do any of you watch Silicon Valley?
I think I did a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Silicon Valley, there was a time that they had to rely on the fridges to store some data.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in a circumstance like that, we are relying on a lot more equipment and a lot more devices, which means that there is more connectivity, more connection. We are able to, share information. So it's faster and better. I'm sure Sammy and Joel will come up with some more details.
Yeah, sure. So now we give the sword to Mr. Samuel to cut off the piñata.
Yeah. So as Daniel made us know, in this COVID-19, one of the things that we've had to sacrifice is um, being close to each other, that kind of physical connection. So anything that helps us to, anything that can substitute that physical connection or physical closeness, obviously will help us to continue with our daily lives. And we all tend to the internet and the web and whatnot to help us continue. So I think that 5G is basically or could basically amplify the work of existing technologies like 4G and co, fiber, whatever we are using to manage the COVID-19 right now. The 5G can amplify the work so that if we are having podcasts like we are doing right now, and we are doing it on a 5G network, we are going to hear everybody real time, clearly, and It's going to be like you're in the same room, if you're having classes, yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, 5G has a lot to, and not just maybe keeping the physical closeness. I think that 5G is also supposed to be very fast. So if you're at home and you want to watch a movie, you don't have to wait like 1 hour before your movie downloads. You can wait a couple of seconds and then you have it. And then, I mean, there's a lot that 5G can do to help us manage the COVID-19 crisis. Yeah.
Thank you. So we shoot to Joel, who is
Yeah, so
boxing gloves to defeat Mike Tyson.
okay. So I'm reading something online right now, and it says there is how 5G can help fight coronavirus. Now, one of the major points they have here is that 5G thermal imaging supports contagion monitoring and can accurately spot moving objects' temperature in real time.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, livemints.com. They said telecom operators collaborated with Huawei to set up a specific 5G network dedicated to COVID-19 treatment hospitals.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I believe these two alone to tell you that there's some positive side to 5G in relation to fighting the coronavirus.
Thank you. Upon hearing all of you talk, I'm actually now dreaming about holograms and self-driving cars in Ghana probably in the next 10 years. But come to think about it, this show has been very productive, and I think we've understood what 5G is, the benefits we will get from 5G, and you have pretty much enjoyed the show, I hope. We still catch us on the next episode to all our listeners. It's the Iron Nibbles coming right from Accra, Ghana, to you. We hope to see you on the next episode. Thank you.